Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our township meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our town meeting, Monday, April 28th. In attendance for tonight's meeting, we have Supervisor Erler, Supervisor Ekman, Supervisor Albert, Supervisor Friedman, and I'm Supervisor Birmingham. So we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. The agenda is up here at the podium if anybody needs a copy of tonight's agenda. Have the supervisors seen tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I have a question. Under new business, 7, number 1, passing out a multi-municipal comprehensive plan referendum. What is this about?
I think from what our last meeting was, Supervisor Erler had asked Solicitor Karasak to see if this could be put as a referendum. So I'm assuming Solicitor Karasak will give an update on that tonight.
Yes.
Okay. Supervisor Ekman, do you have anything?
No.
Okay.
I have a question for the solicitor. Have you had the time and ability to go over the foundation documents?
I have not. I did finally access them. They were prevented from being accessed because there was some individual or company outside of the realm of who was supposed to be entitled to this information trying to get it, so it was stopped. But Mr. Metzger reopened it again so I could get into it, but I haven't looked at it yet. There are probably 50 files that I have to look at. Whether or not there's one page in each file or whether there's 10 pages in each file, I don't know, but I am finally able to get into it and look at those files. So I don't have any report for this evening, but I will probably have one in the next meeting or so.
Okay. I have no more comments on the agenda.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We'll open it up for public comment. Public comment is 3 minutes. Just come up to the podium, name and address. I will make a quick statement before we allow public comment. So, as many of you know now, the current data center project with AWS is no longer viable. Your supervisors and others extended many hours with our consultant to assist the project. However, last week, Amazon advised us that the lack of available power prevents their project from being a reality. There is absolutely nothing we did or not do which caused this decision. Any resident who wants to blame the supervisors are incorrect and acting in bad faith and reckless. We will not stand for it. Any such aspersions, in fact, will adversely impact any future data center project. If you do have questions, you can see us, make appointments anytime. We acted to support the RPL principles despite the fact they have cost our township and residents substantial money by filing unrelated lawsuits in the past, some of which are still pending. I will not allow baseless and reckless comments to be made against me, David, or the other supervisors that are blaming us. Our consultant worked with all parties to obtain a favorable deal for the town and will continue to do so. This is not a forum to air baseless accusations, and it stops here and now. Thank you. With that being said, does anybody want to make a public comment? Judy.
I would like to ask if I could reserve my 3 minutes until you talk about the planned slate belt. Since
Okay, that's
Since
fine.
as a representative and being, admonished on that, I'd like to do that. And just one little side note, for anybody who's going to blame you guys about Amazon, there are articles in papers saying this isn't the only. They've walked away from several places. So unless you guys are all powerful, it wasn't you.
Thanks. Yeah, we wanted this to happen. We did. Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead, John.
I'm still concerned about what's going to be.
Name and address,
John
please.
Schimmel, Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania, 1944 Railroad Avenue. I'm still concerned. I understand that after they had made a vote that we were no longer going to participate in this multiple municipality thing, why are people still went to this meeting? And also, even though you say we're not supposed to say anything about this Amazon, it seems to me that you're putting more layers of government onto this organization than we need. And I, for one, think that it is completely wrong, and the people that were involved will be called the AOCs of Mount Bethel. So that's all I'm saying. Bye.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment? Oh, yeah, Marty.
So Marty Penner, 39 Lindsay Lane. I know in your statement, John, you had talked about that it was the power. If that's the case, let's release the power study. Let the people and the public see the power study and for the real reason why it's not. If it is the real reason, then that should exonerate every one of you in regards to that. If not, that'll just leave questions. So I ask, release the power study from PP&L. Let them tell us that there wasn't sufficient power or there was not enough to do that. So that's just a request to help you guys out.
Thanks.
Mr. Pinter, we don't have that power study. That power study was done by RPL. They paid for and retain it. If they would like to give it to us, I'd be happy to release it.
Yeah, I'm Michael Onufrak, 43 Summerfield Drive, Mount Bethel. Listen, you're not being honest. The real reason why Amazon backed out, I told Jeff Bezos, I'm going to cancel my Prime membership if you build that. So he listened.
All right, well, thanks for being the fall guy, Mike. Anyone else? Public comment? Okay.
All I wrote for
Oh, gee, what do you mean?
First, I want to say that you have some stuff on here about the road department. Our road department does a very good job. I'm out there every day on the roads and seeing the job they are doing. And keep in mind, though, the roads are the #1 thing in a second-class township. And to take care of the roads, you need good equipment and plenty of material. So I hope you take that into consideration on what you're doing. Now, I want to go back to something else here. It was interesting, the script that you read off of there, Mr. Chairman. The long and short of it is, there was ample power. There was ample power. And frankly, the Zoom calls, of which a few of you were able to set on a little bit of those Zoom calls were basically controlled by Mr. Friedman. And Amazon had made a number of good faith offers as to what they would do. Frankly, losing Amazon is setting this township back decades of what they could have done to improve the life of the people here in the township. We probably would have had no property taxes. Just the transfer of the deed alone would be several $1 million. But what really sunk this had nothing to do with power. What sunk this, and of course, He certainly can deny it if he wants to, but there's other people who knew he said it. Mr. Friedman, in the end, demanded $5 million a year for 10 years from Amazon. And I got to tell you, quite frankly, you can laugh all you want to pump us. The long and short of it is, if I was Amazon, I'd have got out of here too. Because behind the scenes, if you recall, Mr. Chairman, you and Ms. Ekman, when you had office hours, there was one individual who sat in the front row and repeatedly had negative stuff to say about Amazon coming. So I don't know as you had to make them feel welcome, but you certainly could have made them feel acceptable here. But that wasn't the case. Those Zoom calls and the negative from a handful of people, and it's almost mind-boggling to me that what's left of the concerned citizens does still exercise so much control over this township. It really is mind-boggling because they've reduced themselves to basically nothing. But as long as they can control a few people on the board, they certainly have some control. But the end result is the final blow with Amazon, and he certainly can deny it. There's some witnesses around who would probably shake their head. He demanded $5 million a year for 10 years from Amazon. So if you would have been Amazon, would you have felt like they wanted you here or they were trying to run you out? It's pretty evident what happened. Now, as far as Plan Slate Belt, I hope tonight everybody sees the light. It's time to get rid of Plan Slate Belt. Quite frankly, Plan Slate Belt was a disaster from the beginning. And somebody said to me, and I want to use the exact words, some of the statements by the Planning Commission people, the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, were somewhat Marxist, and it was a good point. But the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission engineered this for whatever reasons. I don't even want to get into that. But it's hard to believe that we had that Plan Slate Belt tabled, and yet 2 members went to the meeting and actually voted. But I can tell you right now, what they wanted Upper Mount Bethel in this for is we have land. The boroughs are built out. And I would predict within the next few months, you'll see Washington Township pull out because they realize now they're the only one left with land. But again, it's sad that we have lost Amazon because there were so many great things could have happened for our schools and our citizens, the garbage bills. Frankly, there would have been no property taxes. It just was mind-boggling what could have happened. Yet that devious small group of people managed to pull this off. What a shame and what a real sad thing for the citizens of Mount Bethel Township.
Yeah, Lee.
Just let me apply for it, Mr. Chair. In the first place, I don't even know how to set up a Zoom meeting. In the second place, there was Amazon who came up with the figures.
All right. Go ahead, Lee.
I just want to follow up on a comment from Marty and
Oh,
John.
name and address.
Oh, Lee McDonald, 1221 Belvedere Quarter Road. What Marty mentioned and then John followed up, apparently this power document or report is in the hands of RPL. Could you as a board formally request RPL to disclose that for our consumption?
I will talk to him about it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Charles Baltic, 971 Laurel Hill Road. As Ms. Hengel did, I'd just like to reserve the opportunity, if you'd be so kind as to grant it,
Sure.
to comment later during discussion around Plan Slate Belt.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Announcements. We'll start over Supervisor Erler.
Yes. After speaking with a few residents, I noticed a common theme hidden under some of the conversations that I've been having. So I believe that I would like to be on record and for it to be known that any statements given during public comment by any resident will not result in any form of retaliation by the supervisors or any body of this township. All comments are and will always be protected by the First Amendment, but please be honest and factual. Avoid speculations, rumors, and baseless accusations. Sandy, I'd like to yield some time to you if there is any committee or commission that has given any statements that the board is to consider. There were votes taken and motions made. in Planning Commission and EDC. Do you have them?
I think that's Ron.
Yes.
I did not write up anything at this point because of the fact that there was some issue regarding the agenda, so I figured we address that and then we'll go from there.
President, I attended both of them. It was a unanimous vote by EDC and a unanimous vote, I was there in person, by the planning commission to drop out of plan site. I was there personally.
Yeah, that is correct. However, there was an issue raised with the agenda. Now, Cindy does the agendas. She does them impeccably every time, every meeting, very seldom makes a mistake, if ever. Now, I don't know if the agenda was or was not produced. That's not my bailiwick, and Cindy was doing other things at the time of that meeting. But if for some reason that would make the recommendation void, Township Planning Commission can simply meet again and vote. Simple as that, because it's only a recommending board. It can't spend money. It can't enter into contract. So if in fact I or anyone else may make a mistake with respect to handling something on the commission, it really is not a very significant item.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. You just call another meeting and do another vote, so.
I'm the one who brought it to your attention. I'm not pursuing it, so.
Anything else, Supervisor Erler?
If you're not signed up for Code Red, sign up for Code Red. That's all.
Supervisor Ekman.
Just a reminder for BOS Fest on Saturday, May 3rd, from 3 to 9.
Awesome. And it'll be right here at our community park. Supervisor Albert.
Nothing at this time.
Supervisor Friedman.
Yes, at the next meeting, I'd like to put on the agenda that I'd be looking into another water survey, the one that is a few years old, and I'd like to pursue having another water survey. That was brought up during our well ordinance deliberations. Thank you.
Okay, we'll put that on for the 1st of May meeting, please. Okay, and just a couple of announcements. We had our ambulance meeting last week at the Mount Bethel Firehouse. It was a good, productive meeting, and out of the municipalities who were there, Nick, I believe there was four of the municipalities were there.
Oh, no, there was more than that.
Were there?
Yeah.
I think-
Actually, Wind Gap showed up, too.
Oh, they must have showed up.
There was about 8, I would say. There was one resident from Washington Township, and then later after you left, one of the other residents showed up, Anna Marie Robertson. She showed up from Washington Township, so there was 2. Yeah, I think everybody was well. Portland, Wind Gap, Rosetta wasn't there.
Okay.
But I spoke to him. I spoke to Ken.
Okay, and did he say anything? So we asked all the municipalities to participate in an EMS study. That'll give us more of a strategic thinking of what it's going to cost to get an extra ambulance here in the region, and what it'll cost each municipality.
Same as the DCED, same as the police. It's the same.
And it doesn't
department.
cost anything
Right.
to do the study.
Right.
Anything else you want to update from the ambulance meeting? Nick did a great job. I hosted in the beginning, but I had to take off for class. Nick took over, did a heck of a job. And anything else you want to bring
No,
up?
just that we have 9, so far 9 participating townships, boroughs that want to get involved with the DCED study. So the only one, like I said, was Rosetta. That wasn't there, but I spoke to Ken the next day, explained to him, and he's going to present it to the council there also. So I didn't get any negative feedback.
No.
Jimmy was there, but Jimmy left too, so I don't know if he has anything to add, but
Is Chief here?
I thought he was.
Oh, there you go. Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a busy night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good meeting, and we'll keep you updated on that end. The community-wide yard sale is May 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. You can participate on all 4 days. You can participate on 1 day, 2 days, whenever you want. And I think it's 8 a.m. until, did we say dusk, Chris? Do you remember? I think it's 8 a.m. until dusk. If you want to get your house registered, the email, I believe, is umbtyardsale@calliesfarm.com. Or you can just reach out to Cindy, you can reach out to me, and we'll get you registered. And I believe we have about 24 homes right now that are participating. The recycling, the free electronics recycling event is here at the Township Building on Sunday. It's from 10 a.m., I believe, until 2 p.m. 3? Is it 3 p.m.? All right, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's right here at the Township Building. They pretty much will take anything. So, if it's some kind of electronic, they're pretty open to what they take. So if you're not sure, you can just give Cindy a call or give me a call. We'll reach out to the recycling team, and he'll tell us, yay or nay, they will take it or not. And then we're just asking for donations of any amount. All the donations are going to go to our Park and Rec Committee to help them with future events and anything else they're trying to bring up to the park. Last Saturday we had the Slate Belt annual litter cleanup. Courtney, thank you for putting that all together. And we had about 11 or 12 people who participated. Thank you to Donnie and Nick from the road crew who came out and helped and drove the trucks that carried the trash. So it was a good effort. We even stayed out in the rain and picked up some trash. So thank you, Courtney, for that. This Wednesday we have the Upper Mount Bethel representation at the Lehigh Valley General Assembly. David, you're going to that? Okay, great. And then wanted to congratulate Priya Telefson. She, as part of her silver award, being a Girl Scout, she took a rundown pop-up camper. She revamped it into a mini library. It's called the Story Shack. It's registered with the Little Free Library organization. So you can stop by their house. You'll see this purple camper. They painted it. It looks really nice now. You stop by and you can take a book, leave a book, love a book, and keep a book. And they accept donations. They're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., except in inclement weather. The Story Shack, it's located at 3324 River Road here in Mount Bethel. So stop by and check it out. They had their grand opening yesterday. I stopped by there, and you can see pictures on my supervisor Facebook page. She did a great job, and the Girl Scouts, her troop, helped out, and it's really nice. So stop by. Two other things for residents. If anybody can volunteer, Donna and Terry Lockwich need volunteers for like an hour or two to help them out at their home. Terry Lockwich is in the hospital. He had a stroke, and he's doing okay right now, but Donna needs help, needs a couple of strong individuals who can help move some things. I think she needs help moving wood and stuff like that. So if anybody can volunteer an hour or two of your time, just see me, or you can call Cindy, leave your name and number, and we'll get in touch with you. And then Joe and Anna Montanino, they were the couple in Evergreen Village. Their home burned down. We accepted a lot of donations from them. They were living in the apartment above Johnsonville Inn. So thank you to Donna and Johnsonville Inn for giving them a place to stay for the past few months, but as of May 1st, Joe and Anna are out because they have another reservation coming in. So if you know of a place here in town or a neighboring town, they're willing to pay monthly rent. They're looking for a place to stay for about 6 months. So if you have something, just reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with Joe and Anna. All right, that's it for announcements for me. Nick?
Mr. Chair, did you want to talk about the 40-yard container?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So also on, for the electronics on this weekend, what we're going to do is, after talking with Chairman Birmingham, we're going to, and everyone knows probably by now that we're probably in a contract negotiations for our garbage this year. So we want to try something to see what the residents feel might work to try to save money. We're just thinking outside the box. We're going to get a 40-yard dumpster, and it's going to be at the township building on Friday, and we're going to keep it there until it's full. It's for bulk items only. So I know spring is here and everyone's cleaning out their homes and stuff, so they can come by and, residents and drop their stuff into the dumpster. We're trying to think that maybe it might be an opportunity for us to do bulk at Eastern instead of having bulk being picked up at your house, to try to bring down the cost of the garbage bill. If it works, it might be a good opportunity for us to do that. But if you guys don't like it, if you think it's a bad opportunity, at least we tried, we figured it out. Instead of doing a survey monkey or something, actually try to see if it works. It cost is like $1,000 for it to have it staged here. So after Friday, as long as it's still empty, just bring your chairs, your whatever, your appliances. No garbage though. That's not what that's for. It's only for bulk items. So we'll see how that works, and we'll look for feedback from everybody that's using it and see if that works. And then we can incorporate it into the negotiations for our future garbage bill. The other thing I have, too, I just wanted to mention, too, I do want to also thank Courtney for putting that together They did a great job on Sandpit Road. It was a total mess over there, and they did a great job. Really appreciate it. The EAC board, all of you guys, you know who you are. I really appreciate it. And Nick and Donnie, you guys did a great job, and we appreciate all your volunteerism. And we'll see you next year. We'll you sign up.
You're already hooked into next year.
You're already in because you did such a great job. And then last, Cindy and I will be applying for the Grow Norco grant is out for next year's project for the Park and Rec Board. We're going to put in a grant for them for $50,000, which is the maximum. That's not saying what we're going to get for pickleball courts. So that's the next stage. This year is softball. Next year is pickleball. So we're always a year behind. That's like a $75,000 to $125,000 project. So hopefully we'll be able to get funding for that. And then also we're going to be doing a CDBG grant for Middle Village Road and Jacoby Creek Road, which needs mitigation, but they did a new study in 2023 for the census, and that area falls into that category where we can get funding from the government for the road project. The total project's like $205,000. We will be applying for $102,000. Pretty much it's a match, but we could use in-kind to match some of that. So we're going to be applying for that, and so we could improve Jacoby Creek Road and Middle Village Road. And that's it, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Nick. Cindy, anything? Okay. All right, moving on to action items. First up is the Stein injunction action. Ron?
Yes, I'm not sure this deals with that litigation and discussions regarding that litigation. I'm not certain if you want to do it in executive session, and then if there's any motion, obviously you have to come out and do it in a public meeting, but that's the board's call.
Yeah, I think we do it in executive session if you've got any sort of legal advice or
Yes.
that you're going to give us. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we'll move that to executive session. Next up is holding tank ordinance. Okay, I'll make a motion that we table this. Any discussion? All those favor of the motion say aye.
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 Next is the SNC fees waiver request. Ron?
Yes, Mr. Snick had made a request to waive the recreation fee with respect to this matter. The fee is $2,000 per lot, and he was charged with one lot for his subdivision in the amount of that $2,000. So the board he has asked that be rescinded or that he does not have to pay it. The board has to make that call as to what it wants to do, according to the information that I have, and Mr. Coyle is here, and he can also add this, that he basically had prepared a subdivision for 2 lots, and one of the lots is a buildable lot, and that he is being charged for that buildable lot. Now, the ordinance, however, does not say buildable lots. It doesn't say residential lots. It says that you are charged for any new lots that you create. So in this particular case, he's creating 2 new lots. He is adding one to an existing lot and chopping off another for another lot. So there's really 2 lots, and he should be charged for 2 lots. However, this board has traditionally not been that draconian, if you will, and they have said if it's just a plain old lot that's not going to be built on, we're not going to charge for that, but we are going to charge for a buildable lot. So, and that's what's been done here. So if in fact the board wants to relent and let him get back his recreation fee, that's your decision to make. However, understand that once you do that, you're going to have to do that for everyone else that comes down the pike and is making that same request.
Yeah, sure. Wait until you speak into the mic,
My
please.
name is Peter Snick, and my address is 443 Snick Drive. This lot was something that we purchased about 25 years ago. At the time when we purchased it, it was an approved lot. It had a mobile home on it. There was a sand mound system and a well. We bought it basically primarily for privacy and for not encroaching other people, close to our properties. We're both getting up there in age now, and for state purposes, we wanted to separate it because we bought it jointly. It was approximately a little under 4 acres. We had a lot line adjustment. I get 1/2 of it. He gets the other half. He's taking the property that had the mobile home on it, has the well and the septic. What I'm doing with my part is I'm merging that into my 5-acre deed. So it's not going to be a separate lot. It's going to be part of my property. What we see is like this was a lot. It was an approved lot. It has access to the road. Mine doesn't, and so we're not creating another lot. It's the same lot. The only thing is that I'm taking half of it and merging it into my deed.
And there's an ordinance. There's also an ordinance that very specifically states it.
Let me read that.
So, and you're not building on your property at all?
Not me, no.
Okay. And you're just keeping your half?
The address is 455 Snick Drive, which is shortly under 4 acres. We've been paying taxes on it for over 20 years for 455 Snick Drive. So now what we've done is we've divided it in half, exactly in half. I'm keeping the main section, which I'm still going to be paying taxes on. And my brother is assuming the other half, and he's incorporated into his existing address of 443 Snick Drive. So it's not a new lot.
And this parallels both his property, his home, residence, and my home. It's a 4-acre long strip of land that it's bordered on my property and it's bordered on his property.
It parallels both of our properties, that's why we purchased. So this is not really a new lot at all. It's not a new lot.
So, and this is the ordinance. This is the Park and Recreation and Open Spaces, Section 298-20-H. This section shall only apply to plans that would result in the creation of new lots. The original and remaining tract of a subdivision or land development plan shall not be considered a new lot unless that original remaining tract is further subdivided or developed. It is the purpose of this section to implement the language contained in the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code 53 PS Section 1050311, and thereby provide needed park recreation open space to accommodate growth or the payment of fees in lieu thereof. It says it right there.
And this is a township ordinance.
It doesn't sound to me like they're building a new lot. They're basically just taking part of yours or what was jointly
Let me
owned.
get the plan, I can show you the plan.
Yeah.
Mr. Snick, I do have a couple questions. Are both of your names on the deed?
Yes.
As it is?
Joint
Okay.
ownership, yes.
The proposed lot B, that was I'm assuming the lot that had the camper on it?
I'll show you the map.
Yeah, because that has the same.
Yeah, I know. So the proposed lot B, under your explanation, is the one that had the camper on it?
Yeah, this had a trailer. It was not a camper, it was a
House trailer.
So,
We removed it because it was an eyesore.
It was
okay,
a
so
hurricane actually destroyed it.
are you going to be looking to now build a home on here?
Maybe.
Because there were septic tests for that
right.
location.
All right, either that or either that I can sell the property. But it's already an existing property.
Okay.
55 Snick Drive. And all we did on this piece of property here, this is my property, this is my brother's property here. I'm keeping this. This piece of property is being absorbed into his existing. So there's no building. And in fact, Justin Coyle, when I met with Justin the other day, that was pretty clearly stated. And Mr. Graziano was sitting there too, and it was pretty stated that this is not a building lot. It's being absorbed in. So,
There is a house already on this.
well,
It had a mobile
it
home.
has a trailer
Oh,
foundation.
on this one?
Yes, this has your dwelling on it. So you're adding vacant land to yours.
Yes.
Okay. And this one is now
Stays as it is.
either going to be built or sold.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I actually farm it. I mean, I have a big garden down there.
So he's already developed that little piece of property.
No buildings.
For the last 20 years, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this doesn't sound like a new billable lot. It sounds, yeah. And so you're asking for us to waive the $2,000.
I'm asking you to follow your ordinance. I'm
Right.
not asking for anything. You have to follow your ordinance.
But, yeah.
I've been
But,
going through this too.
all right. Well, I don't think this is a new lot, the way they're doing it. I think they're basically dividing it. You're taking
We
yours.
could have sold this whole parcel
Yeah.
as an approved lot.
Yeah.
Because it was approved for a mobile home, it had a sand mound, it has a well, and it even has a electrical line that runs over to it. But we didn't, and the point is that now I really don't plan on doing anything with it. It merges my 5 acres to 7 acres.
So all
Okay.
3 lots were buildable as per that plan?
Oh, yeah.
You can take this. I got it. Okay.
I'd like to see if the solicitor or engineer has anything to add to what has been discussed.
The only thing I would add is that when the plan was given approval before the Planning Commission, the agreement for conditional plan approval noted that a 1-lot recreation fee would be paid, and it was signed by the applicant.
It's not part of the ordinance.
First of all, I signed that without realizing that you already have an ordinance. Now, you're the solicitor, you should know that.
My position is you have created 2 new lots. I don't care what you say. My position is you've created 2 new lots. Okay? I
Guys,
understand that, and
sir,
you should be
please,
Can
paying
you go back to the mic,
$4,000
please, so
and
we-
not two.
so can you go back to the microphone, please, so everyone can hear? Thanks. It's for the people at home, too. Anything else, Supervisor Erler?
I see both arguments. I would like to put a motion that we waive the fee in lieu of request.
I'll second it. Any other discussion?
For both lots or one?
For both.
I mean, in theory, ours out of,
There's only one lot being charged, not two.
okay.
So when you're waiving it for the one lot, so there will be nothing paid.
But in theory, like, the way our Saldo is, it would be 2 lots, correct?
Yes, in my
So in theory, it's 4.
No, right. In theory, it would be $4,000 because, in my opinion, you've created 2 lots. I understand there might have been a lot before, but now you've reconfigured these lots. You've made Mr. Petersnick's lot bigger, and you've made this other lot smaller. Those are 2 lots. In my opinion, you should charge $4,000, but the township has never followed that. The township has basically said, if you're going to create a buildable lot, and you've heard Mr. Walter Snick say, yeah, I might build on it. You've got a buildable lot. So, but that's
it's been
your
a
call.
building lot all along. That's the thing. It's not a new lot. If 455 Snick Drive has been an existing piece of property that we've been paying taxes on, so it's not a new lot. You're taking a piece of that lot that's existing and merging it into an existing piece of property. That's what it is. There's no new lot.
I think we're clear on what's going on. And like I said, I understand both arguments. A motion has been made.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if anybody else has questions.
We do have our solicitor's opinion, and I can sympathize with you guys.
Well, you've waived. I understand you've waived these things in the past, so it's not you're not setting a precedent because it's been waived in the past.
John, could I offer my opinion?
Yeah.
This is not a straightforward lot line adjustment, so you got to take the lot line adjustment and kind of put that off to the side. It's a subdivision, it's a lot annexation, and it is a creation of a new lot. The existing lot, Lot B, does not have a residence on it. If you want to say the spirit or the intent of the ordinance is for a new dwelling to go on a property, for that property to basically be charged a recreation fee for that house to come into the township. If you weren't comfortable with assessing the $2,000 or $4,000, could you assess that fee if a building permit came into the township? Could you attach it to the record plan? Could there be some type of legal document established? My position is it's a vacant lot. It's being subdivided. They did septic testing. There's the intent to put a house on it in the future. Thereby, that property or that new lot for that new home should be assessed a recreation fee. That's the spirit of the ordinance.
So can we do that? Then the day of a sale or anything?
Any home plan.
Home, then,
How about the ordinance?
The ordinance, right, the ordinance talks about the creation of a new lot, which it is. It's a new geometry lot. It's 1.8 acre lot. Which lot is out there right now that's 1.8 acres? There isn't any. You're creating a new lot with 1.8 acres. If you deferred, instead of waiving the rec fee and deferred the fee, I hate recommending this because it really puts a taxing, challenge on the township. How does the building code official made aware of this?
We do have an excellent tax collector, so I'm not worried about
So
that.
you could assess that, and basically what you're saying is the rec fee gets passed on to the person that buys the property down the road.
Could I just interrupt?
And then you're reaching some type of compromise.
I mean,
That's my position, thank you.
the point is that we could have sold the whole parcel, and there would be no fee.
But you subdivided, so now that's what kicks in the subdivision ordinance. You subdivided. Everything else is off the table because now you're under the ordinance. You've subdivided.
Okay, so you're not gonna.
So that's the spirit of the ordinance. I mean, I understand.
So-
the board
so-
can do what you want, but I'm just saying you want to keep that in mind. They are creating a buildable lot.
So are you saying, Justin, if in the future they build they put a home on that piece of property, then the $2,000 is owed.
Yes, it's just a matter of how you track that now.
But-
Usually you have to do that before the plan gets recorded, so the township has those funds. If you kick the can down the road, it's going to be difficult to assess that fee at a later date. But I'm trying to reach a compromise, and I don't want the solicitor upset with me.
You don't worry about getting upset with me, not at all, or with you. And if the applicant agrees to those conditions, you could do it that way. But they have to agree, because there's nothing in your ordinances that say that you can do this. They would have to be by their agreement, that we agree that upon the sale of the property or upon the filing of a building permit for the property, the $2,000 gets paid. That's fine, as long as, but they have to agree to that.
What are your thoughts?
I agree to it. Since it's going to be my property, I'll agree. So if I sell the property, the new person who buys it will pay the $2,000 recreation fee.
Or if you yourself wanted to build a house.
Now, let's make this clear so we don't have a problem going forward. Is it the sale of the lot that's going to kick into $2,000 fee, or is the application for a building permit that's going to kick into $2,000 fee?
I'd go for the building permit.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so if they agree, that has to be put on the plan, that condition on the plan, and then it's taken care of.
You agree to that?
Yeah, I agree to that.
Okay.
Okay, then I will amend my motion to defer the fee in lieu of waiver request.
And that it's due only if
Only upon building, submission of a building plan,
Permit application.
and to be noted on the current plan,
Okay, and you mean permit, right?
building permit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll second that. Any other discussion?
Russ, you want anything from the zone board?
Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
For your
guys.
time.
Okay, we'll do Judy's public comment before we get to plan slate multi-municipal comprehensive plan referendum. Judy, you're up. Well, it's only you and Charles who have asked. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you did. 45 minutes? I'll have a heart attack.
Nick, did you put 3 hours on that time?
Ron, I love you, but
that's
not
what it
for
was.
45 minutes.
No, my only statement, Judith
Name
Henkel-
and address, please.
Judith Henkel, 1752 Robin Hood Road. No, I'm just defending the township's position as a friend, as a neighbor with all our other municipalities. And everything that people are saying was misinformation. They've been told over and over at that last plan slate belt by our solicitor at PC. There's no big issue here on like all our neighbors are going to gang up and tell us what to do. This whole thing about we have the land, yeah, then we get to do what we want with it as far as zoning or whatever else. That's like saying all the towns have sewer and water. Yeah, they've got it. So what? I mean, this whole thing is to me about making the compromise, and it isn't a compromise. It's we go along with this agreement for at least a year. That's in the agreement. We have 6 months if we want to pull out. So give us a chance to see how this is unfolding and what's going on. Because it's just otherwise everybody here is saying, no, we can do it on our own. We're fine so far. Everybody's going to take advantage of us. They want to isolate us, and I don't see that. I go to all these meetings, and we have relationships with each other, and when something comes up, we can call another. I know Nick has good relations with all the municipalities around as manager, and that's all we're asking. And if you need be, I mean, to be honest here, if you say you're not going to do this, and you don't want me as your rep, which I've only been a rep for a year, I've been going to all these meetings from the beginning, I will still go, And I will sit in the seat that Mr. Bartik and Mr. Supervisor Eger said. Just because I want to see what's going on. I want to know how we can interact with our neighbors, because we need them to trust us, and we need to be working with them, as opposed to when landowners or anybody else comes in and they want to hand us, zoning ordinances or whatever. And it was said at the Planning Commission, this is just another way for some of us to delay. That's not it. You had a special Planning Commission out of the blue the other night. If there's such a project that you don't want to be delayed, there's only a committee for these big, what they called regional significance, which RPL is already designated as that. So you call this little group together, you say, well, you review this in the next few weeks, and we're done with it. And they're only going to comment on it like Lehigh Valley Planning or anyone else. And so Mr. Baltic is going to give you all this stuff about what's enforcement. So I'd like you to think of all the little threads they're trying to pull and make this into some horrible kind of, agreement that we're getting sucked into. I mean, they're not taking us down to El Salvador. We're just sticking here with our neighbors trying to work things out. Okay?
Thank you. Charles.
Thank you, Supervisor Birmingham. Charles Baltic, 971 Laurel Hill Road. I'll be brief. I do think transparency is important. I went to the Planning Commission meeting on Friday, and they voted unanimously to make a recommendation to the supervisors to not pursue Plan Slate Belt, to withdraw from Plan Slate Belt. I also know, and other members of the EDC are here, that they had a similar meeting, and they voted unanimously 6-0 to recommend to the supervisors to withdraw from Plan Slate Belt. So that's 11-0 between those two bodies. And I think Supervisor Friedman has withdrawn his opposition to the agenda issue. So that's not an issue. So those two meetings occurred. Those votes occurred. I think that's pretty representative of the community. Ms. Henkel did attend those meetings, and she says that I'm getting into legalese. Well, we're talking about a contract here. So when you're talking about a contract, legal interpretation is important. And, I would just point out that the Plan Slate Belt fact sheet, which is on our website, has a Q&A. And one of the questions is, what happens if a municipality does not update its zoning ordinance within the 2-year period? And it says, failing to update zoning ordinances could create legal vulnerabilities, that's a nice word, especially if zoning decisions are challenged in court. So I would just respectfully, this is an important issue. A lot of citizens really care about it. It's central to the future of this township. It's a dramatic departure. I hope you understand this. It's a dramatic departure from what this township has ever done, and in fact, what all the townships and municipalities in this area have ever done. So it should be taken very seriously and considered very soberly. So when you see this language that failing to update zoning ordinances could create legal vulnerabilities, especially if zoning decisions are challenged in court, I would respectfully ask you supervisors who are in the position of making the decision about this to tell the citizens of this township what that means to you. It's a simple, simple request.
Thank you. Ron, you have 45 minutes. Come on up. Give him 45 seconds.
I mentioned the other night at the Planning Commission that I read Mr. Attorney Baltic's presentation. And it was very well done, by the way. I could just have sat down for the 45 seconds. He covered it all, except I happened to be in Kutztown at the extravaganzas, antiques out in the field. And my way back, I came through Maxatawny. So that was an interesting case of what can happen when you get into one of these things. It was over a sewage treatment plant. And the end result was, yes, it did go to court, and yes, there was litigation. Attorney Baltic is right on the money, quite frankly. There's not much more I could add to it. He's covered it pretty well. But I thought it was ironic I was out there and happened to be in those two places, and that was the case that he refers to. And it was an interesting case.
Thank you. Let's go, Charlie.
Quick question here. Charles Cole, 6 Riverton Road. Attorney Baltic, are you an attorney? Are you an attorney? That's a question. I don't think he is. Thank you.
Just for the record, I am a retired member of the New York Bar, and I am an inactive member of the District of Columbia Bar. I went to Georgetown Law School, and I practiced law for a firm in New York City called Dewey Ballantyne for 6 years. So if that makes me an attorney, Charlie, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, let me turn it over to you, Supervisor Erler. I know you were looking into the referendum.
Well, I already was told by Mr. Karasak and informed that the involvement in the plan can be put for referendum. So as far as that matter goes, yes, it is an ability.
And you should know, Mr. Chair, that the Planning Commission, which I attended on Friday, their position was that the township should not enter into the implementation agreement. Nothing to do with the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is there. The township now has a new comprehensive plan, and that's done. Their position was the implementation agreement, where the township agrees with the other municipalities.
Who said not to go into that agreement?
Who said that?
Planning Commission.
The Planning
Commission.
Yeah, I don't think the agreement is good the way it is. I would not sign that.
I'm just saying, it wasn't the comprehensive plan as such. Their position was not to enter into the implementation agreement.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
Karasak,
I agree.
If we pull out of the multi-municipal plan entirely, wouldn't we still have that comprehensive plan?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We paid for it.
They are two separate items. The
I'm saying
comprehensive
if we
plan.
were, not the multi-municipal agreement, but if we were to pull out of the plan.
When you say pull out of the plan, if you pull out of the plan, then you don't have the plan anymore.
But we paid for it, and it's in our hands.
Yeah, but you're telling me you're pulling out of it. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to have the plan, and we're going to use this plan moving forward for the township, or you're not going to have that plan. The implementation agreement is a whole nother
I think what Supervisor Erler is saying is that, okay, we've got this comprehensive plan, right? Can the comprehensive plan still be, does it live on even if we say we're out of the, if we're not going to sign the implementation
I
agreement?
believe
We bought it, that's it.
the comprehensive plan will live on if you don't sign the implementation agreement.
Well, the way that I'm kind of seeing it is, if we stay in if we opt out of the plan slate belt, we still paid for the plan. That exact plan might not matter, but what do? We rip out the other towns, and then whatever's left is the comprehensive plan anyway, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that's it. What would apply to the township in that comprehensive plan would be the township's new comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
Since we already paid for it, we wouldn't lose that.
No, but if you make a motion to withdraw from the plan, that's going to make a difference.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Ron.
If you make a motion to withdraw from the plan, that's going to make a difference, as opposed to simply not agreeing to sign the implementation agreement. Again, they're two separate things. The plan and the implementation agreement are two separate items.
I get it.
Mr. Friedman, being on the steering committee, do you see a way for us to not sign the implementation agreement and still stay in the plan?
No, Mr. Karasak explained it to you. You can't have it both ways.
The plan is what we paid, the comprehensive plan. The intermunicipal agreement is totally separate. Yes, right. So in order, we could take our plan that we bought and walk away, or we could stay in it and sign the intermunicipal agreement and be part of that intermunicipal agreement.
Right, that's why the Planning Commission on Friday simply talked about the intermunicipal implementation agreement, because the plan was already done, paid for, bought, et cetera.
Okay.
And incidentally, if you want to, for the referendum, just so you know, if you want to do a referendum, there has to be a petition signed by 5% of the voters who cast a vote for the governor in the last gubernatorial election. And then if you have a petition that has those amount of voters, it has to then be filed 90 days before the primary or general election. Obviously, you're not going to make the primary election anymore, but you could possibly make the general if someone, again, got a petition signed by that amount of voters.
Has Becky Bradley gotten a hold of you yet?
No, she has not. I've missed her. She's missed me. Then she was in, I think, Europe for a while or something. So I have not heard back from her. But I do believe her position is that signing the implementation agreement is something that should be done. Now, whether the township wants to do it or not is another story.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to sign the agreement yet. I mean, it ties us into too many things. It legally obligates us. It gives the other municipalities legal recourse against us. I don't think we're there for that.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard an overwhelming response from our citizens, from the town hall through public comment through the last 2 months. Our planning commission, our economic board, auditor, they all think that this is not the way to proceed. It could open the town up to lawsuits. We may lose autonomy. We would have to rezone, as well as, and we lose the ability to maintain and shape Mount Bethel as we see fit without outside voices kind of coming into it.
So what motion are you looking for?
Instead of putting this to a referendum, I'd like to make the motion that Upper Mount Bethel does not sign the multi-municipal comprehensive plan.
Mr. Chair, just say one thing.
Hold on. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been seconded. We'll open it up for discussion. Nick, and then
I just want to make sure that everybody received this letter from WinGap. All the Board of Supervisors were sent that letter today. I just want to make sure for the record that you got it.
I think it should be read for the record.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
I did not read it.
Yeah, I haven't read it, so go ahead.
You want me to read? Okay.
Yeah.
It was addressed, Ms. Beck, Mr. Graziano, members of the Upper Mount Bethel Township Board of Supervisors, and this was sent from Jason Boulette. Is that right? Yeah. WinGap Borough Council. I write to you as a member of the WinGap Borough Council on the subject of the planned slate belt. At our most recent Borough Council meeting, we were informed that Upper Mount Bethel Township is considering not proceeding with the planned slate belt multi-municipal comprehensive plan. I hope you might reconsider. While I understand the townships, I think that's a mistake what he wrote there, given the 2 other townships of withdrawal from the plan and given fears about loss of autonomy, I truly believe that there is a lot of benefits that can be had from multi-municipal planning, and that by working together as a neighboring communities, we can create a better future for the entire slate belt. Under the multi-municipal comprehensive plan, each municipality will keep its own planning and zoning boards and will still be able to approve developments within its own municipal borders. No other municipality will be able to approve something for another. To my mind, the biggest advantage of the multi-municipal plan is being able to direct specific types of development to the areas within large region where they are most appropriate. Under Pennsylvania law, every municipality is required to zone for each type of development, from warehousing, overall industrial use, to high-density housing unless there is part of a multi-municipal plan. Here in Wind Gap, I live in large apartments complex containing 5 3-story buildings plus numerous townhomes built within the last 5 years. Such high-density housing is ideal for boroughs like mine, but could be considered detrimental to Upper Mount Bethel, a municipality that wishes to retain its rural, scenic character. By working with other communities in a larger slate belt, we can create a larger plan that allows you to retain your autonomy while also reducing the types of developments you don't want to see in the Upper Mount Bethel. In September 2024, when Plainfield Township withdrew from the planned slate belt, the township invited Wind Gap Borough and Penargil Borough to also withdraw and to join the township in a newer, smaller regional plan. Through our borough manager, I drafted a series of questions which were submitted to Plainfield about the cost and drawbacks of withdrawing, given the time and effort that had been put into planned slate belt. We did not receive a response to these questions. I felt that, and as I feel now, that the best path forward is for our larger slate belt community to work together, share resources, and cooperate as much as feasible, given the extent to which our region is so often ignored and undervalued. As the intermunicipal cooperative agreement implementing planned slate belt requires the creation of an advisory board made up of members of each municipality. I hope that by remaining participants in the planned slate belt, we can work together to address whatever concerns you may have. Sincerely, Jason Bullett, Wind Gap Borough Council.
Thank you. Russ, go ahead.
Russ Horn, Centerville Drive. I think we're making this harder than it needs to be. I think I agree with the motion. That's what I wish you guys would do. We're real good at taking our time here in this township, and I think at this point, the best thing to do is withdraw from it. Do not be a part of the municipal agreement. Don't sign it. Let's do our own thing. We can take our time, figure out what we want, and go from there. If we want to jump into it later, we can jump into it later. But I just don't think signing this agreement is the right thing. And a lot of people agree with it. A lot more people that are here.
Thank you, Russ.
Nick, I have some questions on that. Is that smaller multi-municipal plan implemented by Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, or did they do that?
No,
on
it
themselves?
didn't. No, they didn't. That was with they're I think all 3 of them are actually in the Slate Belt Regional, so that's
Okay.
why they probably did it. But Plainfield pulled out.
Okay. So we currently assist and we're friendly with certain other communities, correct?
Absolutely.
If we had the banner to put up, whose truck do we call to?
We have agility agreements. We actually have one that Ron just completed with Portland that we're ready to sign, and we have one East Bangor. I mean, I'm constantly on the phone with all of the representatives from all the the townships and boroughs.
So we currently do the things that is one of the benefits of being in the plan.
Absolutely.
Actually being in.
The best comparison is what John and Jimmy put together with the ambulance.
Yeah.
We didn't have a referee there.
Absolutely.
It was us. It was the townships and the boroughs that came out, and we bounced things off of each other and spoke, and everybody spoke frank. And the bottom line at the end, we had another community come in and join us with it, 9 communities. We didn't have anybody come in and telling us how to do it or what to do. We did it.
Yeah, you can even look at the free electronic recycling. We
Yeah,
open it
yeah.
to all municipalities. The Portland Upper Mount Bethel 4th of July parade is on its, I think, 7th or 8th year.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty darn good neighbors, and we open up all our events. You know, the BOS Festival is open to whoever wants to come.
Correct.
Nick, since you do talk to more townships than anyone, as it's your daily job, do you have any thoughts on the agreement yourself that you'd like to share?
Me, myself?
Yes.
I wouldn't join it.
Okay.
Good.
Well, we have it.
It's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Are there any other supervisor questions or points to be made? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion?
Can you read that motion one more time?
Give your motion one more time. Best to,
I wish I wrote it.
I wrote it down. It was,
Okay.
his motion was not to sign the intermunicipal implementation agreement.
okay. You good, Jason? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
4-1. Okay. There'll be no gambling at the Upper Mount Bethel Township supervisor meetings. Next up is EDC resignation and appointment. Supervisor Erler.
Okay, well, this letter was sent to Cindy. I do not have the actual letter in front of me. I was unaware that you put this under my name.
Well, you can, I mean, you don't.
Yeah, I read this from the actual board. So Scott Cole has, or the EDC has submitted a recommendation of the appointment for Martin Pinter as the vacant seat of the Economic Development Committee. And he sent his entire resume.
Okay, and I think we've all seen his resume.
And I'm sorry, there is an empty seat because Augie Percolo has moved out of Mount Bethel.
Bill.
So I do think that we need to make a motion to accept the resignation first.
Okay, Bill?
Bill Hall, Jacoby Run Road, Upper Mount Bethel Township. I have a copy of the letter I can read to you that Scott sent, if that helps.
I think we've all seen it. I think
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, we unanimously
Okay.
and feel strongly.
It was not unanimous.
And you support the appointment of Marty Pinter.
All of us, it was a unanimous decision, and we all support it vigorously.
Okay.
I would just like to say that I was at that meeting and it was not a unanimous decision.
What was
about accepting?
Well, true, correct. Sorry.
About the acceptance of Martin Pinter.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Ray Higgins voted nay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how I remember it.
Okay. Tom, go ahead.
Augie was not there, though. You're right. It's not a full.
You got to come up here, Tom.
I don't want to interrupt him.
Oh, all right. Are you done, Bill?
That's all right.
Tom Gilmore, 107 Morningside Drive. With all due respect to Mr. Pinter, he's had his time. I think it may be time for new faces, fresh ideas, some innovation on our Economic Development Committee. If someone has resigned, isn't the normal protocol to put that out for anybody who might want to join that board?
It was posted.
Oh, okay. Apologies, I didn't see that. Because I would happily throw my hat in that ring. So apologies if I missed any deadlines. I too have a resume. But that's just my feelings. I think it's probably time that we look for new ideas, new faces, people who are genuinely want to be involved, people who want to embrace all ideas from both sides of the literal aisle here. And I think there's a lot of promise here and untapped potential, and I think people might be surprised where and what we can do with that. Thank you.
Thank you. So hold on, Ray. Hold on one second. Can the EDC add an extra member? Like, say, take Marty.
They're already at 7.
Hold on, John. Can the EDC take on an extra 2 members, like Marty and Tom? I don't know. I don't remember what it says in your.
It's going to be a nod.
What's that, Bill?
I thought you
Yeah, I did. So we would need to add 3 to get it up to 9. Yeah.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, I'd like to see the ordinance, and there you go. Yeah.
You come to all the meetings anyway.
I'd be welcoming to get those 3 guys on there. Why not?
I think that should
Ray.
be their decision, though.
Ray Higgins, 580 Centerville Road. A couple of things I just wanted to come up here and address with you guys.
Does this pertain to the Marty Pinter?
It will ultimately pertain to Marty, yes. So, as of recent, a lot has transpired in the town, and I don't think a lot of it is on the up and up. I think there's 2 sides of an aisle. I think there's a lot of hate in this town. So I'm officially coming up here to resign from the sewer authority. One of the reasons I abstained from my vote for Marty. Marty is probably the most qualified person in this room, maybe in this town, to be on our committee for the EDC. But you guys have turned this town into a shit show. It is horrible. People think we are a joke. So take my resignation.
Okay. Back to our discussion. So we need a motion to accept Augie's resignation.
Yes, I'll make a motion that we accept Augie's resignation from the EDC.
Okay, I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then now we have to discuss, since we created the EDC, it's to determine if we want to talk about or decide what we want to do on adding extra members.
Let's get Pinter in there and table that and move forward.
Okay.
I think the decision to add members should be their own person.
Okay, any other discussion?
Now, let's vote on Marty's.
Well, we don't have a motion yet. We need a motion.
You have Mark wants to say something.
Yeah, come on up, Mark.
I'll throw my hat in the ring too. I'll put my resume up against any one of these guys.
All right, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion we appoint Martin Pinter for the EDC.
Any other discussion?
Yes. Although Martin Pinter is quite qualified for the position in question, I agreed strongly with the remarks that Mr. Higgin made when he abstained. My apologies. When he abstained the vote as an EDC member. He made mention that he was worried about an echo chamber effect, and he hinted at the amount of EDC members that were also on the sewer authority. He was interested in diversifying the EDC. Now, I guess the sewer authority has one less person on there, but I just wanted to make that known.
Okay. All right, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, 3-2. Ron, road crew employment agreement.
Yes, give me a moment to catch up. The board had asked me to prepare an agreement with respect to 2 road crew employees and their ability to secure Class A CDL licensing. I had told the board that I probably couldn't get to the agreement until next week, but I made some time over a weekend to get it done, so it would be on for tonight. And so that agreement is before you. It is for Nicholas Natoli and Nicholas Bailey. They are presently members of the road crew, and the agreement is to have them come on full-time, and they would be at the starting rate of $22.45, and they would not have to undergo the traditional 90-day probationary period because they have been township employees and have worked properly and in good workmanlike manner for the township. I was asked to prepare a document that basically says that the township will pay for the cost and expenses in securing CDL training and licensing for these individuals. However, it also has a reimbursement provision, which is that if either Natoli or Bailey leave the township's employee within less than 1 year, or no, I'm sorry, within 1 year but less than 2 years, then they have to pay the entire cost of the money back to the township. If they leave within 2 years but less than 3, they have to pay back 2/3 or 66%. If they leave within 3 years but less than 4 years, they have to pay 1/3 or 33%. And if they stay here for full 4 years or more, they don't have to pay anything back. It also indicates that if for some reason they would fail to pass or secure the license, then they would have to make full reimbursement under those circumstances. And of course, they will become, if not already, union members, and so they'll be bound by the rights and obligations of the union contract. So that agreement has been prepared. I've shared it with our illustrious township manager, who looked at it and approved it. However, if there's any changes or whatever, we can make those changes, but that is what is before you.
Okay, any questions from the supervisors?
What is the actual cost of the license that they're agreeing to?
Well, when we talked about this matter, as a matter of personnel, and I'll reveal it now so that it doesn't create an issue, I believe the cost was $5,400.
Yeah.
54 per license.
I believe per, is that correct?
For one license, for the
Yes.
site, for an
Yes,
A.
per.
Yeah,
Right.
$5,420.
There you go. $5,420, so it's even $20, so.
And that includes all their testing and their
I didn't put that
medical,
number.
drug testing, everything's done.
I didn't put the number in the agreement only because it may change depending upon how
Yeah.
things may occur, so. But that's a good estimate as to what it would be.
Since Nick is in the crowd, do you agree to that? Okay.
All right, do we have a motion on the floor? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I looked
And
at
Nick
the
and Nick
agreement.
were both
Yeah.
informed of that, and they both agreed to it themselves.
Mr. Chair, making a motion, we hire Mr. Natoli and Mr. Bailey under the terms outlined in the agreement by outlined by Mr. Karasak.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Before you take a vote, Mr. Chair, I'm assuming that this was all approved by the local 773. There's no issue with them or anything?
No issues.
Okay.
No.
If it's union approved it.
Yeah. We discussed it with them.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is paver roller truck 26 municipal bid. Nick?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Let's start with the paver. The paver, it's a Barber Green 240 paver, 1986, with 9,577 hours. So it's 40 years old.
How old?
40.
40?
40, yeah. So it's 39, excuse me, to be exact. I don't know what its birth date is. But anyway, it breaks down every year. And it broke down again this year, and Dave and I talked about all three items on the agenda. So paving equipment, as some people know, that if it breaks down and you have 5 trucks that have loads on them and we're done for the day, we just lost thousands and thousands of dollars. So we can't have that. So we're gonna rent. To buy a new one is $500,000. It's not even worth it. It would take 50 years to get the cost back on. Just rent it. It breaks down, get another one. And the same with the roller. The roller's 25 years old, and I think we had to tow it out of here today. It breaks down all the time. It's 25 years old. Same principle. We need it, and if it breaks down again, then we have a problem. Cost of a load of blacktop on a tandem is like $8,000. We can't have that to do it properly. So we're going to rent. Same thing. We have the money in the machinery fund, which is for rentals and equipment. So we take the money out of there. Basically, just using our interest out of there. It keeps growing. There's almost $1 million in there. Those are those 2 items. The third one is the pickup truck. It's relatively new. It's 10 years old, but it's a 2-door, and it was bought for a simple reason for grass cutting. And when you had 3 guys going out there, we had to take 2 trucks, not 1. So it's not useful. It doesn't plow, and it's starting to rot. The rear end is starting to rot. So replace it. All 3 items here. We can get good money. We already have $100,000 sitting in the capital fund that we sold money. We want to replace the pickup truck with a 4-door 3500 that plows. So it would be advantageous to keep our trucks on the main roads and be able to sweep through Saddle Creek, Crystal Terrace. It'd be more useful, and it's a 4-door. Not we need 4 doors. We don't need 2 doors. I need permission for us to put them on municipal bid to sell those 3 items.
Okay. Come on. Let's see if there's a motion first, Rich. All right, do we have a motion?
We got to ask Rich's permission.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I make a motion. We sell the paver, the roller, and truck number 26 on municipal bid.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been seconded. Rich, come on up.
Rich Klingel, 850 Tots Gap Road, Bangor, Pennsylvania. KLINGLE. All right, you guys are getting way out of control with this equipment. I mean, really. Now we're going to buy another truck? I mean, when is it going to stop? I mean, you're talking about getting rid of a truck because it's only got 2 doors. So if you got to go for parts, then you're going to be using a 4-door when we already have another 4-door and another, dump truck out, a small utility dump truck. And I mean, you guys are way out of control. This parking lot's starting to look like a used truck dealership out here. You guys said as soon as the new trucks come in, we're getting rid of the old trucks. Then it was, we can't get rid of the old trucks because the new trucks are breaking down. You guys put in for a tandem axle truck that only had 80,000 miles on it, went out of here on a hook because it broke down. And now you're going to take a chance on buying another truck with the same problems. Why get rid of a truck if it's paid for just because you want an extra 2 doors? And you already have a truck out there with 4 doors. So why do we keep on just buying and buying and buying? And it's never ending. You guys want to buy another 4-door truck when you have more vehicles here than what you have workers to drive them. It just doesn't make no sense.
Thank you, Rich. Anything you want to?
I just want to add that it's not just because it's 2 doors. It's because we need a 4-door. It's more feasible for us. But also, it's going to be a plow truck. So do you want to spend $300,000 on another plow truck to go driving through Saddle Creek and going, which is too big for those roads, where you have a 3500 that can do multiple things. So we can have it plowing, do the radiuses, run through the smaller roads inside all of our developments. That's our obligation. Ron said in the beginning of the meeting, our obligation is the safety of the roads. The 3500 will be working all the time where the 2-door truck is going to sit there.
All right, but you said also when we bought the tandem, oh, that's going to be used all the time for plowing because we can make it all the way up to Kirkridge. How many times was that?
Rich, again, this conversation you should have had with the past.
And I did.
We did.
And I did.
You know, we had
And
this discussion. That's why I don't want to buy another tandem. We don't need another tandem. That's overspending and overusing. We have main roads that we can keep those trucks on there that will help those trucks. And also, we have 2 more guys that, well, one of them's in class and one of them is actually going to be going to class. That's going to be able to drive have another CDL. So all those trucks will be working. And you can't run an operation with this. If you have 10 guys, you can't have 10 trucks. One breaks down. What's the other guy going to do? You're going to get a shovel out and start cleaning the roads? You got to have redundancy. You got to have every highway department. How many highway departments have you been in? How many highway departments have you worked for?
3.
You only had 3. If you had 3 drivers, you only had 3 trucks?
No, but we had a maintenance crew that took care of the
Well,
trucks.
we don't have a maintenance
and kept
crew.
the trucks going.
We
Yeah,
don't-
but see, that's the problem then. Because if you're going to keep on buying these trucks and you're not going to have nobody to work on them and nobody to keep them running, and you're just going to send them to a dealership to get fixed all the time, then why ask the citizens that, all right, we're going to buy these trucks. We know they're garbage. We know they're going to break down, but we got to just keep on buying new trucks. The reason that triaxle was bought was so that it could make it up to Kirkridge and back without having to turn around and be filled up again. And not one time was that used for plowing, was it? To
No.
go up to Kirk. All right.
Absolutely
so
not.
How much did that truck cost?
About $380,000.
All right. So we bought a truck with the inclination that it's going to be. We got to have this to go up to Kirkridge and back, and to make longer trips. And it was never used for that. We even put a plow on it. It was never used to plow. So you guys told the citizens of this township, all right, yeah, we need this truck. We need this truck. We need this truck for plowing. It was never used for plowing. So we put a plow on that. We put a salter on that, and it'll probably never be used then, right?
Yeah, but you're talking to the wrong board. They didn't buy that truck.
They
It was the
bought
previous
that
board.
truck.
The previous board did.
Marty, was that?
So I can't answer to that.
Marty, didn't you guys turn down Ed's request to buy that triaxle truck?
No, we bought the triaxle for the exact same reasons as you stated, because the road department wanted to be able to go further in the township to plow and salt without running out of fuel. That's the reason why.
All right, so you still have 2 guys up there that voted on it. Those 2 guys there.
You want us to sell it? I don't know what your point. We have the truck.
No,
We're in the
what I'm
past.
saying-
We're moving forward.
Yeah, but how are you moving forward? You guys just keep on buying and buying and buying.
All right, let's move on.
Instead of.
I don't know where you want to
instead
go
of
with that.
fixing
I'm going to go in a
something-
circle.
Rich,
Instead of
Nick,
fixing something, you guys just buy new-
guys, everybody. Marty, hold on, John.
sorry.
Marty, come on up.
In regards to the sale of in regards to the sale of the paver and the roller, I would highly suggest that you get a scrap value before you guys put it on municipal. You may get more for scrap in it than you will.
Oh, no, we'll get more than that, Marty.
Well, at least start it off as your base,
Yeah.
as your base price.
We
I
have,
mean,
we have a base, I mean, the roller works when it wants to, but the paver's 40 years old,
Well,
Marty.
that's what I'm saying. The paver,
Yeah.
you may want to park at the park and put flowers in it.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, it'd be a hell of a yard
Yeah.
ornament.
Parts for that, it probably was more than anything.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussions for
I think John
Supervisor?
had a
Yeah.
question.
Nick, how much is the rental for the paver?
The paver's approximately 10,000 a month. And
10,000 a month.
And we would use it for a month.
Just 1 month?
Yeah, that's all we need. We're going to pave the roads and try to use it at that time. And if it rains, they don't charge us. So if we're not using it, they won't charge us for it.
And how much?
And same
is-
with the roller.
And so it's 10,000 for
The roller's 7,000. Don't quote me. I think it's about 7,000 for the month.
Have you looked into trying to find a used roller?
Oh, we can. Yeah, we can. But like I said, you buy something used. If it breaks down, we have thousands and thousands of dollars of macadam sitting on trucks that are hot. They're going to become bricks in a couple hours. We can't take that chance. If we want to do it right, We have to, have to have the right equipment. I personally don't want to buy a roller or a paver. Just rent it and we use it for. We was only going to use it for 1 month out of the year.
Yeah,
if you're spending $500,000, we're not a paving company.
And then we're going to run into the same thing.
Exactly. If something breaks, just give it to them. Same with all these trucks. When they break down, yeah, they did break down. And Rich is right. They did break down, but they fixed them. We didn't pay anything. Unfortunate things happen. When you buy a car, sometimes things happen. That's why you have warranties. All these new trucks, we have warranties. We don't have a maintenance department. We have guys that can fix stuff in a pinch, but we don't have guys that can sit here and spend hours on trucks. We need them out on the road.
Okay, so I have another question for trucks 26. How many trucks do we currently have that plow?
That plow, besides, you talking about pickups, or you talking about? We have two 4-tons. We have a 3500 that just has a blade. It doesn't have the capacity to salt. So, and then we have 6 tandems and one single axle.
If I just counted that, is that 10 trucks?
No, well, we have two tandems, right? We got a single axle, and we got 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 6 tandems. Yeah, we have 2 used. Yeah, we have 6 tandems.
So how many do we have in total?
10.
Okay, how many road crew people do we have?
10. That's what I'm saying. You have to have enough to be able to, if something breaks down, because one will usually do the loading, so the guys don't have to get in and out of the truck. So we'll have 9, so we'll have 1 sitting there. So that's why I'm saying you can't just have you can't have a backup without a backup.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go into executive session. We have the Stein matter, and we have another legal issue that we're going to discuss. We'll come back out. It is 8:37 p.m. 1, 2. All right, we'll call this meeting back into order. It is 8:57 p.m. So we went into executive session. Ron, do you want to give a summary?
Yes, we discussed the injunction complaint that was filed against Mr. Stein and Dr. Zuppeth, along with the several citations that were filed. I believe there were 4 or 5 citations in the first go-around in which their decisions were entered, and then there were 16 citations against each of them that were continued on the strength of attempting to settle this matter. I then entered into negotiations with Attorney Shipman on behalf of Mr. Stein and Attorney Astek on behalf of Dr. Zuppeth, and we entered into a potential settlement agreement with respect to the burning situation. And these are the terms in a nutshell. I'm not going to go into great detail because the document is about 8 pages long. But number 1, Mr. Stein will remove himself and all of his possessions and personal property from 609 Orchard Road on or before midnight of May 31, 2025. Prior to vacating that property, he will take all steps necessary to clean up the property, remove ashes, trash, debris, dumpsters, and combustible material. That 3, he is to immediately cease the outdoor burning of any combustible materials other than he be able to burn under his outdoor wood burning permit. And in that regard, he could only burn DEP-approved combustible materials and not anything that may come along the line. 4, there's some talk about he may want to buy this property. If he buys the property, then it is agreed and understood that he or his tenant or any other occupant will not be permitted to engage in any outdoor or open burning of any kind at any time, at anywhere on the property, provided for in the stipulation. And finally, the parties would agree that Dr. Zuppeth, who's the owner of the property, would not be considered in violation of any ordinances because his position was that Mr. Stein did the open burning without his knowledge, permission, and consent, and in fact, he filed a landlord-tenant lawsuit against Mr. Stein in county court to have him vacated from the property because the lease agreement said he meaning Mr. Stein, could only do residential use, and the burning was not residential, the open burning was not residential, and there were also issues with respect to back rent. And this agreement, if approved, would be signed by a county judge as a court order, so it would have the effect of a court order and the effect of contempt if in fact it's violated. And at this point, both Mr. Stein and Dr. Zuppeth have signed the agreement. It would only be up for the township to sign and finalize this agreement if there is a motion to that effect.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Any additional questions, or is there a motion out of executive session?
Mr. Chair, I make the motion we sign the agreement that is just presented by Mr. Karasak.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. That's it. Anybody want to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Something important, though. Who's going to pay the bill for the person who negotiated with Riverfront, with Amazon?
Amazon will.
They'll pay the bill?
Yep.
And can I ask if luckily, let's say some other data center would want to come in here, because there is plenty of power, quite frankly. What would be the condition of the board of supervisors to make somebody welcome for a change that would make the county put on the map?
That's what we're working for, Ron. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I do have a motion to clear something up. I'd like to make a motion that the steering committee members draft a letter of our non-participation in the intermunicipal agreement that we approved tonight.
Can he do that motion, Ron, out of executive session?
Well, he can't.
That's not an executive session. It wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah, you can't necessarily say it's out of executive session, but if he wants to go back to that agenda item, since it's on the agenda and it's permitted, he certainly can do that.
I'd like to go back to that agenda item because the planned slate belt had no idea that we tabled it indefinitely, and this is just to let them as well as Lehigh Valley Planning Commission know that we refuse to be a part of that implementation.
Why don't we have Nick put a letter together?
I can put it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
I don't
fine.
think we need a motion on that.
I just think that they should be aware.
Because he'll bill us. No offense, Ron.
Nick gets paid by hour already.
None taken.
All right. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I made that a motion.
Oh, you did make that. Oh, did we second it?
Been seconded.
That's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.